In this video, I'll be sharing why you have an unhealthy relationship with food and how you can improve it once and for all. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer, and I help leaders reconnect with themselves and become more balanced beings through spirituality, personal, and leadership development. And as my business continues to evolve, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about this week, considering I'm transitioning my content to include more spirituality and leadership conversations, while obviously, keeping the nutrition and lifestyle component in there, because spirituality has always been at the forefront of my work and how I've been able to really help transform my clients' lives. I'm just now opening up and sharing that more publicly. And you can go watch my official coming out of the closet video after you watch this one. But knowing that spirituality is at the forefront of my work, in my practice, the transition with my clients really starts initially with transforming how a person is eating and therefore their relationship with food. Because the relationship that someone has with their food is very telling, and it dictates a lot in a person's life. Because food affects more than just our weight, as I've discussed in other videos. So it's important that we eat better so that we can live better. And one of my gifts, being an intuitive healer, has served me really well in this area, because I've really been able to uncover and get to the root cause of, what most people overlook in this field when it comes to eating healthy and naturally healing their body from the inside out. Now, let's get into the top 3 reasons why you have an unhealthy relationship with food, okay? It's not your fault, all right? So let's get into that. Number 1 is marketing and advertising. So, fun fact, in the 1980s, cigarette companies used to own the major food companies that you see on the shelves now, like Kraft and Nabisco, and during that time of ownership, they used the same marketing tactics that they tried to persuade you to make you think that smoking was safe, to make you thinking that the food is safe that they are making as well. So isn't that crazy how the cigarette companies were owning these foods and they were using those same tactics to make you addicted to food? I recently spoke about this in my last interview on Fox 26, and you can go watch that video. It's located under the community post on my page. So number 1 is marketing and advertising is really one of the reasons why you are addicted and have an unhealthy relationship with this food, is because back in the 80s, the cigarette companies use very persuasive marketing tactics to get you to do so. The second reason why you have an unhealthy relationship with food is the diet and fitness industry. So diets have been around for centuries, and I'm sure since you can remember, you have been bombarded with the latest diet and fitness craze, specifically in the 80s when that industry just exploded. Now, remember, the cigarette companies were in the 80s as well, persuading you to eat Oreos. And then now you have the diet and fitness industry bombarding you with even more unhealthy propaganda. And this doesn't help that the diet and fitness industry is flooded with conflicting information, making it confusing and complicated when it really doesn't have to be. And I talk about this more in Why Americans Are So Confused About What to Eat video, and why the diet and fitness industry is broken video. So make sure you go check that out when you get a chance. All right. Now, the third reason why you have an unhealthy relationship with food is childhood trauma and how you were brought up with food, your upbringing. Now, combine the persuasive marketing and advertising tactics with the diet and fitness industry propaganda, along with what you were told or how you were raised when it comes to food. And this is, the trauma around food, rather. It's a very, deadly combination, honestly. And I know childhood trauma is a hot topic these days, and rightfully so. And we're definitely going to get more into that as well, because it's so important. But as it relates to food, it all stems from how you were raised and your thoughts around food. Whether there be, negative comments that you heard from your parents, your siblings, your classmates, etc., it leaves a lasting impression, which I've discovered of working with clients over the past decades. Let me briefly share with you 2 client stories as it pertains to childhood trauma. So the first client came to me as an avid marathon runner when their times was struggling. And so they came to me for nutrition counseling and coaching. And once we started having our sessions, getting to the root cause of the issue, long behold, while this person was in college, their college track coach pinched their waist and made a negative comment about their weight. Hence, this person started to restrict their eating very drastically, thinking that that would cause or, really not give that person time to gain weight. And therefore, their times were struggling because we need food. We don't need to restrict our eating. We actually need to eat more when you're working out more. And so once we unlocked that, their times improved and it was just amazing. But it took some time to really get that out because that was really deep seated and they didn't really understand why they were restricting their eating and the correlation of their negative relationship or unhealthy relationship with food. The second client comes from someone who was in their 60s, and this is a petite person, a petite lady actually, and she was telling me like what she was wanting to do and how she's been dieting, this and that. Mind you, this lady does not need to lose weight, but she was saying that the reason why she was doing it, this woman at 60 years old, was because when she was younger and her and her family would go to the beach, they would make negative comments or about how she looked in her swimsuit. So this definitely stayed with that client up into her 60s. Like she's still dealing with this till this day. So that just goes to show you how powerful childhood trauma is and how deep rooted and deep seated it is, and how that can really transform and change someone's relationship with food, and not for the better. All right. Now, here's a bonus reason, because we have to remember that, convenience plays a big part of all of our unhealthy relationships with food, because since the start of the workforce and people leaving home, going to work, they opted for convenience, right? Those convenient TV dinners back in the day, instead of those home cooked meals from scratch that they all used to eat. And so this was moving us further and further away from our ancestors and how they ate, and which really how we were all intended to eat to survive as a species. Because I don't think Oreos, Burger King, McDonald's are not on the recipe for survival. Actually, they are on the list for demise for our species, as we can see with the epidemic of obesity and chronic disease and illness. Now, reflection time question, okay? Now that you have these 3 reasons of, why you potentially have an unhealthy relationship with food, which one of these are you most affected by? Like, which one of these resonates more with you? The childhood trauma, the diet and fitness industry, or the marketing and advertising? Or is it a combination of both, or all 3, right? Now, you may be wondering, well, how do we mitigate that? Well, how do I start to improve my relationship with food? You do this by practicing intuitive and intentional eating. How do you do that? I have a video for it, okay? So go watch that, okay? I have bukus of videos for you guys to really get to the root cause and really start changing your relationship with food, okay? The second thing that I would recommend you do is to keep a food journal. Would you know? I have a video for that as well too. So go watch that. That's literally the first thing that my clients have to do in working together, because a food journal is so pivotal. It's such a pivotal piece in the transformation. And I know a lot of people don't want to do it, but it's really the most powerful thing that you can do for changing your relationship with food. And then last but not least is really to reflect on the root cause of your eating habits and patterns. Again, is it the childhood trauma? Or are you using food as a coping mechanism? Is it the marketing? Is it the diet and fitness industry and doing what you were told and taught? Now, here's a bonus reminder on how to improve. You have to be patient with yourself and be gentle with yourself. Remember, you're reprogramming and unlearning and relearning certain habits and patterns that have been ingrained in you for years, okay? So it's really important that which takes time, okay? So now that you're aware of why you have an unhealthy relationship with food, you can now move forward and start to make some changes, because awareness is key. Because now it becomes your responsibility that you can change for the better, okay? When you are aware. Knowledge is power, but it's like, what are you going to do with that knowledge, okay? And also, just remember, just because you have the awareness doesn't mean it's going to be easy, because it's not. Remember, I don't know, however old you are, you've been having these habits and patterns, and it's going to take time to unlearn and relearn and program yourself, okay? But however, now that you're aware, it is your responsibility and you can do something about it. Okay. And if you're needing some help in this department, please, like, I'm here. Okay. So, register for my free masterclass that I have, and you can watch it at any time, go back to it, whatever, take some notes that can really help you start throwing away this, negative, unhealthy propaganda and all the nonsense, and really start creating a healthier relationship with food. Because as you know, here at JENuine Nutrition, we're all about balanced eating and balanced living. Okay. Well, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.